Hello everybody, my name is Jordan Ingram, and today I'm going to be talking about the coronavirus and how big of an impact it is bringing to the United States and China and other surrounding European countries. Today I'm going to start out with a quote by Donald Trump. "I want the U.S. economy to open back up by Easter Sunday," and that's a bold statement for Trump because he knows how bad it is and how much supplies and money and effort needs to be going into this when we kind of have other world problems probably going on that he's putting in the background now just to mainly be on to have everybody's attention on the coronavirus, which is a serious problem and that needs to be taken care of. But I think he's overhyping it, and it's getting bad, but then he's also making it sound way worse than what it is. So I know everybody's freaking out about the virus, but I don't even think most of you know the real trouble it is causing us. Today I'll be telling you about the environmental and economical problems that the coronavirus has caused. Preview. Environmental changes that have happened in the US and China. How the coronavirus is affecting the economy in the US now. The unemployment rates in the US and around the world. And then lastly, I'm going to compare and contrast the coronavirus to the Great Depression and the Great Recession from 2008, sorry. First thing is the environment changes in the US. Traveling isn't allowed. Traveling is a big problem in the US because pretty much everybody has a car, and the amount of air pollution from emissions that we get in the US is a lot, and all the factories in the US that are considered non-essential now that we don't have all that going on and releasing all the chemicals into our air, so it's actually making our air cleaner. Next, we have the water pollution. Water pollution's way down because everybody's staying home during this. Nobody's really allowed to be out right now, and the water is actually clear and clean now compared to if you talk about months ago before any of this actually happened, and you still had all the people going into having recreational activities, boat traffic, and all the cargo ships bringing in stuff. You never know what could be dumped or wasted into there. Then we have the amount of trash pollution. Trash pollution is a major problem that we have. And because everybody is littering and dumping their trash wherever they please, and then the runoff just causes even more problems, and then we don't have a way to fix it all the time because people just do whatever they want. Then we have everybody's cleaning because of the coronavirus, because they don't want to be sick, so they're cleaning up after themselves now, which we always should, but now seeing that you can get it pretty much any way, any physical contact with another person, everybody's constantly cleaning and trying to better themselves while also bettering each other. Then lastly, we have the United States needs to see all this, because this is almost as healthy as our planet's ever been, considering that we're in this pandemic of the coronavirus, but our planet's actually healthy right now, which kind of amazes me, because if we just took care of our planet, and scientists need to see that if everybody does their part to be safe from the coronavirus, then we can be safe and everybody does their part from everyday life and fixing themselves and fixing how they go about their business and everything. Next, we have the environmental changes for China. Air pollution is way down in China. China is China is the most heavily populated area in the world, I would say, and all the factories and everything that are there are constantly going and always making something to either ship or trade out. And with all of them not being there because of the coronavirus, that's where it started, you can see a major difference. then air pollution is down so much. The air is actually cleaner there because usually they don't even have good clean air days. And I read that in the article by Juliana Jabukko, ABC News, stated that China hasn't had this many clear days, clean, clear air days in a very long time. And that's actually really surprising. I don't know if you can really see this, but this is from January 1st to the 20th, and then January 28th to February 9th, and February 10th through February 29th. And that's all pollution. And then you do that just a couple months later, you had some pollution. That was from last year, 2019, at the same time, and this is from this year. And you can see the major difference. Like, that whole square is yellow, and that means there's a lot of air pollution there, and that's not good. Emissions is down 25 to 30%, which says an awful lot, and you can see that in the chart. And then, since China is the biggest coal consumer, they always are using coal. And now that coal production really isn't happening, coal production isn't happening, and they're not using anything that over there right now. And then lastly, we have that China is the most heavily populated place. So with everybody staying home, you're automatically going to be having a cleaner country and cleaner cities, because they have some of the biggest cities in the world there. And it's also just really helping. Next, I'm going to talk about the economy. I'm going to talk about what the economy was like before the whole coronavirus thing happened and what Trump was actually doing. Trump was making a lot of millions of job opportunities, which that was what he was known for during his campaigns and stuff. And I think we could have kept job opportunities going, and I think they still were going, but we don't know because of this whole coronavirus thing that's happening, and it's not very good. Next, we have the stocks would grow at a steady rate because they've never been perfect ever since the Great Depression, and that was in 2007 to 2009, where our stocks dropped a lot, and we still haven't fully recovered from all that debt. Next, we have the economy. We were actually doing good in our economy standpoint, because after Trump came in, we were actually going in the right direction. I would say we were going up instead of back down and up and down. We were actually figuring out where we stand in the economy. Then lastly, we were almost completely recovered now, but this is really putting a setback in it. And Laura Oliver from World Economic Forum explained that she never thought this would happen, and she also gave her input on what our economy is like now. And that's what brings us to now, is the economy now with the coronavirus hitting. And the coronavirus isn't doing good for our economy now, because everybody's out of jobs, nobody's working, all essential businesses aren't happening. And then also another part that plays into that is the oil demand. The oil demand is very low now, and people don't know when it would ever be back up, because we're known for a lot of oil, even though we get it from other countries. Oil is a big help in the US, and people know that. So with it down low, we're not making money, we're not earning money, and there's no in between really right now. It's all just kind of going really downhill. Next, we have all essential businesses are closed. So of course, grocery stores and all that will be open, but say the bookstore or most food places are closed now because they don't want to get it, and they're cleaning and they're trying to get back. But all the essential businesses, what makes and drives the US, and without all that, we're not doing anything. We're not making any money. We only have a small portion of people making money in this country now. And then lastly, we have Trump. Trump said that he was going to give money out to people. We just don't know when or how much yet, because he said a couple different numbers. I'm going to talk about that in a later slide. Then now we have the unemployment rates. Now this is a staggering number that we have, because almost 3.3 million people are filed for unemployment right now, and that's the greatest that we've ever seen. Like back in 2008 when the Great Depression hit, it was 665,000, I think, or 6,650, and like that's 5 times the amount right now, and we've never had something like that. So we have so many people out with jobs, nobody's making money. And then, but Trump is also, in the past 2 press conferences that I've watched on Sunday and earlier last week, he said that they were going to give money out to people, for people that are in need and that need it for their job, which is good, but where are we getting that money from? Because that's just taking even more national debt, because it's our taxpayer dollars going back out to people, but we won't get it all back in return, if you think about it in that way. Next we have, this is the compare and contrast of the Great Depression and the coronavirus. The unemployment rate for the Great Depression was about 25%, and right now with the coronavirus, it's about 25 to 30%. The industrial average was 24.5% to 30% now. So the industrial average is way high. So we have way more industrial businesses now compared to then, but they're all closed now. So we don't even know really how bad it is. Next we have the US. It will take a couple years, I say 3 to 5 years, to get out of this national debt that we have now because of this virus. And Trump's doing a good job of getting everything, but he doesn't really have the money and all that for it right now. So he's just taking our taxpayer dollars and trying to pay it off that way. And then one question that I have is that, will there be another depression? With this hitting so hard and so abruptly like the depression did, will we have another one where a whole stock market just crash and we don't have any more options because we're all out of money because we were trying to save everybody from this? So that's just something that you have to ask yourself and wonder about. What would it be like to have another depression? And then lastly, the comparison between the Great Depression and the coronavirus. And the Great Depression happened in from 2007 to 2009, and that was a serious drop-off in our stocks, but the unemployment rate was only 10% compared to the 20 or 30% that's right now for the coronavirus. Then we have it was almost 5 times the amount. The unemployment rate right now is about 5 times the amount of the Great Depression. The national debt will take, the national debt that came from then, we haven't even recovered from the Great Recession till now. We haven't even recovered from that. So having this stacked on top of it is even worse. So now we have so much stuff stacked on top of each other, we're never going to get out of it. And then we're both seeing we both saw high drops in stocks, which isn't good because that's not even making money for other people also. And then lastly, the coronavirus, this is a stat, the coronavirus is causing more debt, 9.3 trillion to the Great Recession of 5.8 trillion. So just there, we haven't even recovered from the last 5.8 trillion. So you're putting another 4-point-something trillion on top of that. And that's just not going to work very well with the US and nobody working and we're still not going to be working, or nobody's going to be working for a couple more months at least, because it took China 2.5 to get out of this, like, full of sickness. But I don't even think they're back to normal yet. So think of on a smaller scale, but we have so many people in a confined space, and we're excited. And then in conclusion, I say that the coronavirus is definitely worse than the Great Repression or Recession, but not as bad as the Great Depression. And I feel it's something that we need to be taken serious. But Trump is definitely a good person to get us out of it, and I feel like he can definitely do it no matter what it is. And thank you very much.